Hey, how's it going? Back with another Work Sharper Wednesday here. And in keeping with the theme of the last couple episodes, I bought the cheapest axe I could find on Amazon. We'll see if it's any good. So I've already kind of messed with it over the winter. The handle was a little bit bulky. I'll put links to all this stuff down below. So what I did was I took a spoke shave. I just took off some of the excess wood, made it a little bit easier to hold in the hand. It was pretty wide. And then I just charred it with a blowtorch here. You know, all you do is you just take the blowtorch and you heat it up, makes it look a little interesting. And then I just rubbed a couple coats of paste wax on it. And yeah, so it sharpened up pretty nice. And I'll kind of show you how I sharpened it. Let me get set up for that. All right, so I kind of have it in a little bit of a electronics vise just to set it up for you here. I put it in my bench vise with a couple pieces of cardboard on the side just so I don't mar the axe. And the first thing I did was I took this Nicholson file here. Again, they're cheap, just a couple bucks on Amazon. And then you just file it, you know, just like that. You're going to go along the whole edge. It was pretty dull out of the box, but what do you expect for an axe that costs, you know, about 12 bucks? But you get it nice and sharp there. And then I purchased something that really surprised me off Amazon. So I got this Curry sharpening stone. I'll show you what's in here. And this was, I think, $4 or $5. Comes in a leather pouch. You know, you can keep it on your belt. That way it's always handy for when you want to sharpen. I got a couple of these, actually. I gave some to my kids. And it's got a 320 grit side, and it's got a 180 grit side. Then all you'll do to sharpen this is you rub it. I usually put a little spit on there, a little bit of water. It's a water stone. You can soak it, too, if you want. You just rub it, you know, keeping the angle down. And then after you got a 180 grit, so you do the file, then the 180, then you'll sharpen it down to the 320. It's that simple. You know, I thought this was pretty effective. I have a couple of axe sharpening stones. I'll show you those. And so I got a couple other axe sharpening stones. I really like this one with the 180 and the 320 grit. They work really well. I'm happy with that, especially for the price point. Even if it only lasts you a couple years, it'll be nice. This one I have here is another water stone. This is a Norton, and this is a 240 400 grit. It also comes with a little carrying case and a cloth. It's also a water stone. This one I use quite a bit. And I just wrote the grits on here just so I wouldn't get confused in my old age. And then, you know, these are both water stones, but I also have a couple that I've used as oil stones. So I have this one here, and this one is a 120 360. You can tell this one's been pretty worn down, a lot thinner than the others. But I use that one with some honing oil. And then I have this one, which I also use as an oil stone. It doesn't come with, neither one of these come with a carrying case. I'm not really too sure what the grit is on this one. I've had this one for quite a long time. This is actually the first one I bought. And I just keep them wrapped in a paper towel and keep them in a plastic bag so it doesn't get oil on everything else. And I use these most of all. But when I'm out and about, I use the water stone. It's a lot more convenient than sharpening with a oil stone. And of course, once you're done sharpening, you can take a leather strop. This is just a block of wood with some leather. I put some honing compound and some petroleum jelly, and then you'll just strop the edges. That'll get you a nice razor sharpness. Now, I sharpen most of my axes, give or take, about 50 degrees, so 25 degrees on a side. And so if you really like sharpening axes quickly, you can pull out, again, the OG Work Sharp knife and tool sharpener. You've probably seen me use this quite a bit on the channel. This makes short work of everything. You just got to have a source of power. It does run off of electricity. And it's pretty simple to sharpen an axe on these things. Let me set up and I'll show you. So once you have the knife and tool sharpener set up, again, I put the 25 degree guides in there. And it just slides down in. And it's pretty simple. You can either have the axe in a vise and move the work sharp, or you can just set it down on a workbench. Right now I have the extra fine belt in there. All you do is just pull it through. And that'll make sure you have a 25-degree angle. There, just like that, we're done. Now I would use for the first time sharpening this, I would use the coarse and then the medium before I went to the extra fine. So how does it cut? Let's check it out. All right, so I have a piece of firewood here. Let's just see how it cuts. Yeah, I think you can probably make a feather stick out of this. Just see if it takes any bites here. Oops, pardon the camera there. Yeah, so pretty aggressive cut there with that 25-degree angle. I've also got something else, a project I was working on while I was sharpening axes. Neighbors probably thought I was crazy, but nobody came around selling Girl Scout cookies when I was out in the driveway doing this stuff. So I took this Vaughn carpenter axe, just got it off of Amazon. Again, I'll post a link. And you'll see I have words flat written down here. What I did was I tried to make a side axe for kind of doing some bushcrafting stuff. So I'm doing a little bit more camping with the boys. Wanted to show them some woodworking projects that you can use just using a bow saw, an axe, and a knife. It's really handy to have something like this. It has a handle or a hammer on one end. This handle was pretty nice out of the box. I didn't have to do any work on it with the spoke shave. But if you can kind of see the profile there, it's flat on this side. And then it's got a little bit more, I put a 20-degree angle on this side. So it's pretty flat here, and then 25 degrees. And what does that do? That allows you to flatten large logs. And you can kind of see here, I made some pretty easy work. You see how flat that is? I don't know if you can tell, this light's not the greatest, but it's pretty flat there. And I did that all with the side axe, or carpenter's axe. So how does it work? Well, this side is flat, and so you can work down an edge, and it just wants to flatten the wood. See how it just kind of hugs that like that? It's really handy to have for working out in the woods, doing bushcrafting, things like that, or even if you're just doing woodworking in your house and you're making sort of rustic furniture. It'll give you that hewn look with a flat axe or a side axe. And again, this is just the Vaughn carpenter's axe that I made in the USA that I turned into a side axe. And I did it all using this Nicholson file and these stones. I'd like to go, I went 120, 180, 240, 320, 360, and then 400. Probably didn't need to do that, and then finished up with the leather strop. Might be overkill, but you know that I like sharpening. So anyway, what do I think? Well, I think this was $12. Again, I'll put a link, and I got it on sale. But for 12 bucks, I think the file was the most expensive thing. I think it was 8, so that's 20. This I think was about 5 for the Waterstone, for the axe, and then the leather strop. I'm not sure. It came as part of a kit. But for at least these 3 things, you're getting it for 25 bucks. That's not bad. So plus you can use the file for other things. I just use mine for axes. In the stone, you can probably use it on knives. I prefer to use a flatter, bigger stone for sharpening knives. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good setup for 25 bucks. I mean, yeah, you have to do a little bit of work on the handle. You might have to get out the spoke shave, but you really need a spoke shave for this? No. And again, I think I picked this up off of Amazon for 10 bucks or something like that. And it's a Stanley clone. But you could do this with a whittling knife or just some pretty aggressive sanding. But yeah, I think this is a great buy, a great setup. I really like the look of the axe. It's got that black finish here, and then you can see it's got the circle wedges. But the handle, it's tight in there. It's not moving at all, and the handle seems to be pretty sturdy. We've cut quite a bit. That firewood you saw, It'll cut kindling, and just a great all-round camp axe. Plus, I kind of like the design. Kind of has that Viking look to it. Anyway, hopefully this helps. Again, I'll post links to all this stuff down below if you're interested. But yeah, for 25 bucks, this is a sweet little setup for a camp axe or even a woodworking axe. Again, this one I think was 20, something like that, 25. But regardless, it's just a nice setup for getting started woodcrafting or going out camping. And at the very least, you can just throw it in the back of your truck or keep it in the shed in case you need an axe. It even comes with this this little rubber guard here, and it comes with a little bit of a sheath. And what I like about the sheath is you can hang it off a pegboard. So, pretty handy. Yeah, snaps closed there. I mean, it's not the thickest of materials, but it does the job. And again, the axe sits below the hanger, so you can hang it on a pegboard. So, pretty handy to have. Nice to keep in your garage or in the trunk of your car or whatever. And you never know when you're going to need it. Anyway, hope this was helpful. And as always, thanks for watching.